What's going on, everybody? It's ShamefulPenguin here, back with another video. Today I'm going to be going over what I played in the Flashback League for December 2020. It's a pretty good league. It's like toned down of Mayhem League pretty much, but adding in Heist, and it's pretty fun. I recommend if you want to play PoE and you want to just a faster pace, play this league. It's super fun, fresh economy. I didn't really feel like starting a new fresh economy. I'm going to be waiting for the next patch, so I ended up going solo self-found hardcore with this league. If you guys probably noticed a pattern that I go SSF on these past three. I'm not an SSF player or a hardcore player, but I want to try something new, expand my horizons, see how I feel about it. Spoiler alert, I did die in Act 8 unfortunately with this build, but it was me being stupid. If it was my play, not the build. The build actually pretty much carried me. The only reason I got this far, I didn't like. I've done solo self on hardcore on a few characters before, but I would like stop on an act and over level like 5 levels over the area just to make sure I wouldn't die, have really good res, really good life. With this league, I kind of just went ham. I just kept doing the content as if I was in trade league and went as if I didn't care about dying. Yeah, so I got shotgun blasted by Yugal and his floating orbs because I kind of just stood on top of all of them at the same time, and couldn't take that much damage at once. Kind of unfortunate, but this really good build for hardcore despite me being a bad player, so I highly recommend it. Let's get into me showing off the build and what I did. So this build's main concept is Vortex and Cold Snap. So Vortex is the main, they're both damage over time. So Vortex is just flat damage. So you just run around and you just run around and throw this. So you can put this on your left click. I actually have Steel Skin instead because I didn't like having the orbs dropped all the time. I don't know. It was weird. I had it for half the time. I would say I had Vortex on my left click, and the other half I had it on my Q. So play it how you want. Try both of them, see what you like better. Obviously, everyone's gonna think differently. And then I'd cold snap on my right click as my main attack. So you shoot this on the ground on what you want to do damage to, and you just do massive damage. You do both damage over times. We're using some other utilities as well, but I'll go over them after. Actually, no, I'll go over them now. We're using Orbistorms to proc our Elemental Overload, which is right here. So if we deal a crit, we get 40% more elemental damage, so super good. And then I was actually going to spec into Elemental Equilibrium. This was because if you hit them with lightning, they're going to get 50% minus res for cold. And then they would also get 25 when you hit them with cold. You get 25, but overall it'd still be minus 25 res. So we got a lot of elemental penetration with Elemental Equilibrium. We're gonna get our Ascendancy. We're gonna get Pen, and I believe we get Pen from Heart of Ice. We have Frostbite. We have like so much Pen. Frostbite's unnecessary. It's just a self-cast curse. I used it for bosses. You can't really see it because of my stuff I have on the ground, but you just self-cast this. And then we also had Frostbomb. We cast that. It applies cold exposure, which also gives penetration. So we did tons of elemental penetration. So we just tried to scale like damage, and it would really help because we have so much penetration that we would do massive amount of damage all the time. These utilities, while like running through the maps, I didn't get to maps, but running through like the regular areas, all I did was just hold this and run around. I really didn't do anything else. I was really AFK for it. It was actually really fun, actually. So I highly recommend trying this build for like slightly AFK friendly, not Blade Vortex build. Let's go over the links. So Vortex with control, destruction, elemental focus, and efficacy. So Vortex is not getting the chill procs with elemental focus. We're relying that onto our cold snap. It's also better if you have a Vol Cold Snap. Vol Cold Snap is really good because it makes like an AoE ring around you. So when you drop your Vortex, you pretty much always Cold Snap them at the same time. So if you can get a Vol Cold Snap, put that on right away. It's such a good Vol skill. But yeah, Vortex, Elemental Focus, we're not chilling them. So you're gonna think, oh, we can't use like hypothermia or anything, but you can actually use it because you're still chilling them from cold snap all the time, and you have a chance to freeze them with frostbite and all that kind of stuff adding together. It makes it so you're pretty much always gonna have that damage anyways. Cold snap, efficacy, bone chill, and hypothermia. On cold snap, we're just making it so our cold snap allows our vortex to do more damage. It chills them. We get that bonus chance to get frenzy charges from killing things in the cold snap. Just everything to buff the chilling effect and help our other damage, because vortex is our main damage source, and cold snap's kind of like does a lot of damage, but it assists our vortex basically. I have flame dash, arcane surge, faster casting, and I also put frost bomb with that at the same time. I would probably rather have increased AoE on frost bomb or something like that, but it really doesn't matter. Frost bomb's just a utility. You can have it on no link and it'll be just fine. Orb of storms with increased crit and faster casting. I did this because we have elemental overload, and elemental overload allows us to, once we deal a crit, you do more bonus damage, and also we can spec into elemental equilibrium later, so it gives us more minus res. So just all that kind of equaling out. I use discipline and malevolence. I don't have them on, so you guys can see what my mana looks like. It's kind of low. So if you go CI, you can only really fit these two. You don't have to have discipline. Discipline's not actually benefiting us too much. You can put on something else like Arctic Armor or Skitterbots if you want damage, or Hatred if you really wanted to, but you're gonna have probably over-resed. But Discipline just feels like the safe pick for me. Plus I'm also trying to get more energy shield on my build as fast as possible, so it's just gonna scale up better so I can level it at the same time. So I went with that. Felt like a good pick. We also have Steel Skin. That's on my walk skill. I really like having Steel Skin on walk skill because it just gives us more defenses. It's also, I was playing a hardcore and I didn't want to die. We have Frostbite, just unlinked pretty much. And Arcane Surge is just here because, yeah, I was working on these links and I ran out of fusings. Let me be honest. Anything else to talk about? Not really. I got somewhat okay gear. I wasn't max resistance. I was pretty close. I also did have this flask that gave me elemental resistance when I used it. I can't damage myself, but I was capped when I was using my life flask, so that's all right. I would prefer more to be res capped all the time, but it was whatever. I could have used the crafting bench and crafted on something. I also had duty poo gloves that I was looking for, sorcerer gloves or some ES based ones, because I was going to start slamming them with my alt that I spent it all on one of my other gear, or my where is it? All my things got moved around because now I'm in a standard league. I had more essences. I guess I don't know what happened to my stuff. I guess here's some. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened to my stuff, but I was going to start slamming them with stuff and hopefully get something out of the gloves, get more ES. But it's whatever. So this league's pretty fun. So I'm gonna go over my tree. So we went with Void Beacon first. Next we go Frigid Wake. More damage, cannot be chilled to frozen, damage, chance to freeze, freeze nearby chilled enemies, and nearby chilled enemies deal reduced damage. So it's just defense and damage. So this would be your next choice, of course. Void Beacon's pretty good, but we already have a lot of penetration, so it's not as useful. And then the next choice, my third choice would be Vile Bastion. This is because I want as much defenses as possible. It can't be stunned, just seemed a really good choice. And Profane Bloom next, just to have Curse, and then you can also have Explosion, so which is really good for the build. So they would have maximum life is chaos damage, so you just kind of have that like chaining. The explosion is not huge, so it doesn't chain super hard like heralds or anything, but it is a good explosion, so it does help crowded packs. What else do we go over? I'll go over the tree. So I grabbed this because I was really deficient on strength and dex, like this deficient, so speccing both of these really helped. I really tried to get gear with dex and strength to avoid this. I wanted AoE, so I grabbed this. I was considering grabbing Arcane Expanse because I want Vortex to be as big and I want my gameplay to be as smooth as possible. So I grabbed that. Grabbed Frostwalker because I was leveling with skills and I just wanted damage as soon as possible. If I was taking this, I would probably take all these off. Maybe grab this one, but I would take these off and these off if I'm like trying to squeeze out later game. I would definitely grab Arcane Guarding, adds a lot, and it also something that helps out since we're kind of low on mana. Mystic Bulwark gives 1% mana regen per 1 chance block spell damage, and this gives you spell damage. So you just get a lot of mana regen if you spec into Mystic Bulwark and Arcane Guarding and grab the left side nodes. You get a lot of mana regen, and you pretty much never have mana problems ever again once you grab these two, and then you can just take off your mana pot and have another pot. I was currently grabbing Arcane Swiftness because it just gives you avoidance, damage, cast speed, just gives you all good things. But let's go over what you grab first. So I headed up this way. I saw some builds going the right path for int, which is also fine. So there was a choice I made. It's not necessarily right. I think is right for my build, but if you're planning on going CI as soon as possible, you probably want to travel through the energy shield nodes and then like pop up over here. Other than because this node you don't need, this node you don't need. Grabbing this you can grab through going like left, or you can actually even come down, grab all these nodes, come up, grab this, come here and grab this. There's a lot of ways to path on this tree, so there's not necessarily a wrong or a right way. So let's be clear on that. Whatever way I choose is going to be wrong for some people. So this is the way I went. I wanted life, so I grabbed this. This is a lot of damage. Grab this and make sure you're using Orb of Storms to get your crits, so you can do 40% more damage. This is a lot of damage. Breath of Rime is tons of damage. Grab this. So that's what I basically rushed to. I headed up here. I grabbed these. Actually I grabbed Heart and Soul and I grabbed these two, but then I rushed up here, grabbed Breath of Rime, and then I didn't have a shield, so I ignored this, and I was ignoring this as well. And then next I would grab Elemental Overload, head across, grab Fingers of Frost, a lot more damage. Enemies come chill, just more ailment damage, but also gives you damage over time on the travel nodes. Come down here, more damage over time multiplier, so this is super strong. And then I came down here, damage over time, cast speed, life, energy shield, life, AoE, that kind of stuff, good over here. So I saw some trees come left. You can definitely do that. There's a lot of beneficial things you can get here, like Sovereignty, Purity of Flesh, energy shield, life. You can even grab Spiritual Aid, which will give you more damage. And it also kind of helps with the wasn't there like one that helped with minions? No, I'm just wrong, whatever, ignore me, sorry. So yeah, you come over here, there's a lot of energy shield, a lot of damage, like flat damage from Divine Judgment, Holy Dominion, Light Infinity, like there's a lot of stuff over here as well. But I focused right side tree because it just seemed easier to get to. You could also grab Influence. It wasn't going to be super beneficial. I was calculating on POB at my current standing, but maybe by the time I was level like 70, speccing into these might be more beneficial because Influence would buff my my Discipline and my Malevolence, so it might be more beneficial after a couple more levels and I get them leveled up, but it wasn't at that point. So that's pretty much it for the build. It was super fun build. I highly recommend it. The MTX is sick. The black hole, what is it called? Black hole vortex. Super cool MTX. I really enjoy it. Like, let's compare them side by side. Like, this is cool because it doesn't burn your eyes, because I was playing this for hours. But I just think this MTX is like one of my favorite MTXs. So I ended up using it. So that's pretty much it for the league for me, or for this character at least. RIP Shameful Flashback. Shameful Flashback 2 may be in the works. We'll see. You'll have to check out my next video to figure that out. Or just look at the thumbnail and be like, ah, he did it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys have a good league start, and I hope you guys don't die like me if you're in hardcore. Good luck. Stay safe. Later.